If somebody opens that up, you know, energy-wise or any other way, a flood of information can come out of there, and oftentimes people are not prepared to deal with it. They don't have the tools, which is what we're going to go through in these workshops. And thus they can have emotional outbursts. And you know, it's interesting because the people that are opening up the chakras think they're doing great help to these people, and ultimately if they can't maintain it, they just close them down anyway, you know, as soon as they get back to their normal state. Okay, then we also have male and female energy. Some people may know this already, but the left side of your body is your feminine side, the right side is your masculine side. The left side you receive energy, the right side you send energy. So you can have issues with one side of your body. I mean, I had issues with my left side of my body, so my guess is that I was shutting down my feminine side. Okay, now it doesn't necessarily have to mean that, but that's one of the ways you can look at other areas of balance. We already talked about the second chakra being activated from birth on a female because it's your reproductive chakra. And indeed, I've heard, and I don't have a personal experience with this, but I've heard that some women during childbirth have psychic episodes because the chakra's got to be wide open, and having your chakras way open, you know, brings in all the powers. And so, you know, women have had unusual experiences during childbirth as a result of that. Okay, so now let's go on to what we call comfort zones. In the process of growth, in the process of balancing, what I've found is that you get downtime during your spiritual evolution. Now, some people, and some people even in this room, have said, where's the downtime? You know, downtime doesn't necessarily have to be walk through the flowers, but we're all given time to absorb the growth that we've experienced, as well as prepare for the new challenges. And most people would say it's not enough time. Yeah, give me more downtime. I'd like that. But, you know, that's just the way it works. And then there's something I call the leapfrog, because we're constantly either growing together or apart. There's no such thing as really growing the same level all the time. So one of the things is that you will find through spiritual growth or through your evolution into balance is that you come into contact with people. They're meant to be with you because of where you're at that moment. And then one of you grows and goes to a different level. And then you meet different people. And so it's constantly, you know, like this your whole life. You know, if you stayed with the same people all the time, that would be great. But I think what I've found is that once you reach a certain level, that's more capable of doing that, is easier than when you're going through the process of growth. Because as you're growing, not everybody around you is going to be growing also. And so you would demanifest them and manifest new people. So that's what I call the leapfrog. So the stability or longevity in any relationship occurs when both people have achieved a level of balance within themselves, which enables them to harmonize and grow in the same direction, not necessarily at the same rate. Okay, now we're going to talk about the fundamentals of balance. And that's where we're going to get over into this chart. And everybody should have this, a blank chart. Looks something like this. Of course, I've got the completed one. And we're going to have you fill it in, because I always find that by actually writing this stuff down, it makes more, embeds deeper into you. Okay, so all life starts with energy. I think we can all agree on that. And what I'm going to show you is how to fill this in and what your life is like based on the energy that's coming. All right, so what do we do with energy? We program it through thoughts and actions. So we use energy for every thought and every action that we take. Okay? And that can be conscious and unconscious. All right? So in other words, I mean, you may take action that you wanted to take You drive to work, get up in the morning, make breakfast. Those are conscious actions. Unconscious actions are obviously digesting your food. Well, there's an infinite number of unconscious actions that we take. We do a lot of things that we don't even think about in a day. Take a drink of water. Most people don't really think about it. They just do it. I would say those are unconscious acts. So every thought and action is energy in. And the next step is we polarize that action or thought. So we have a polarity. Okay, and this is what is called the choice. All right, we have a choice on the polarity of any thought or action. I mean, nobody else does. I mean, if you're responsible for your thoughts and actions. So if you have a thought, whether it's about the driver in the next lane or whether it's about your spouse or children, those thoughts will be polarized, positive or negative. Okay, and an action. Action can be positive impact on somebody or negative impact on somebody, including yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what happens when you polarize your experience as negative. Okay, when you have your thoughts and actions are negative. Okay, first of all, you have to know what does it mean to program negative. Negative is about control. So you have to learn how to control on this side. All right. So in order to program negative and to grow negative, you learn how to control. On the positive side, it's how to release. And we'll talk more about the control and the release in the next workshops, but release is basically, guess what? Releasing all control. Okay? And that means relying on not just intuition, but the perfection of the universe and learning how to live in that style rather than trying to control things. Okay, and it takes time for some people. Okay, so here on the control side, we learn how to hold tight. Right? You know that if you're trying to control something, you're going to try to hang on to it. All right? And on this side, we're trying to learn how to let go. Okay, so on the negative side, we're going to wait on the middle here, and then we'll call this the neutral for now. You can put that in. I'm going to tell you more about that in a little while. I'll call that the neutral zone. You'll get familiar with that term. Okay, so let's talk about the control dramas. There are only 4 control dramas. And I learned that from a book called The Celestine Prophecy, and I hadn't heard it before that, but I've come to understand them, and when we talk about breaking control dramas, you'll see very clearly why there's only 4, and there only needs to be 4. And they are aloof, poor me, intimidator, and interrogator. Okay. All right, so in order to master control, you need to master these 4 control dramas. And I'm sure that some of you are recognizing already people that you know that use some of these. All right, and on this side, of course, you're an energy taker. Okay, and you're manipulative. All right, energy taker. On this side is, we'll try to appear a little more information. A negative person is service to self.